Welcome, global citizens, to a new edition of Globetrotting for Gossip, where the world isn't just a stage, it's a battlefield. This isn't a contest for the strongest alone, but for the vigilant, the active, the brave. And let's not kid ourselves, we didn't choose this fight. But now, there's no backing out. Around us, the world resounds with the clamor of conflict. You might hear the word peace echoing from corridors of power, but look closely. Do you see peace? No, the war has already begun. With each news cycle, each tweet, each proclamation, we hear the clash of resounding arms. So why stand we here idle? What do we yearn for? What do we desire? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet that we'd sell ourselves into the chains of ignorance and inaction? Forbid it, world. Now we don't know the path others may choose, but as for us, here on Globetrotting for Gossip, it's clear. Give us liberty to speak, to question, to challenge, or give us, well, there's no room for indifference here. Let's dive into the tumultuous tides of geopolitics. I'm Atul Mishra. Let's start with Asia first. Taliban has found a new friend. They are blonde, white, and stupid. They are British. Taliban has been on a rise since Biden took oath of office, and British has been on a decline since Tony Blair became the Prime Minister. The declining one and the rising one decided to get into an agreement of sorts. But dear UK, there's a razor-thin line between friendship and political nausea. Hope you know that. Indonesia confirmed it had bought 12 Mirage 2000-5 fighter jets previously used by Qatar, defending the nearly $800 million deal as a fast way to upgrade the Air Force. Now Widodo is being cursed for buying junk. Dear Joko, if you eat fungi-infested pizza, strong gases are bound to seep out of your arse. Your surprise decision to buy algae-infested jets from Qatar won't leave the nation with an upgraded defense, but a bad case of defense flatulence. The Chinese Communist Party is ready to help Central Asian states create a China Central Asia community of common destiny. Looks like Jinping is reading too much Confucius these days. Li Shulei, a CCP Politburo member and head of the Central Committee's publicity department, met with foreign representatives participating in the China Central Asia political party dialogue. Keep in mind, all this is happening under Putin's nose, and Central Asia is Russian bear's backyard. China is being greedy here. Too greedy, like that overexcited pot-bellied uncle at the all-you-can-eat buffet who pile their plates sky high. He will have 5 types of pasta, 4 kinds of meat, sushi, and a giant burger, and then he goes back for dessert. China's central bank cut the borrowing cost of its medium-term policy loans for the first time in 10 months, in line with expectations, as Beijing ramps up stimulus measures to shore up a shaky economic recovery. These are all telltale signs of a recession in China. We have seen so much growth in China that the prospect of a recession in China sounds like sand dunes in Antarctica, or a non-grey hair on Biden's scalp, or a decent movie CD in Hunter Biden's collection, or regular men's underwears in Trudeau's closet. Let's move to Europe now. Olaf Scholz, in all his wisdom, recently committed to bear the cost of medical treatment for wounded Ukrainian soldiers, then asked the soldiers to pay their own bills, and that too huge one. Well, Ukraine, you put a bet on a skunk to win a perfume contest and then felt bad when it didn't. Germany is a pro at breaking promises. Duda has packed his Bermudas. Polish President Andrzej Duda is weakened, and now even his allies are abandoning him. EU and US have both gone all guns blazing against Duda on domestic front. Duda's law to outlaw Tusk from contesting upcoming elections has backfired. Duda should be happy that he's from Poland because in politically underdeveloped countries like the US, ex-presidents get hunted like a coyote and paraded in full public view to courtrooms and made to commit to follies that they never committed. EU aims to stockpile fuel in preparation for the upcoming winter. With their gas storage facilities already more than 70% full, they are eyeing Ukraine as an additional storage option to prevent a glut in the months to come. Wow, this is like hiring Jeffrey Epstein as a condom seller. The fellow will use them all. The European Parliament has passed a draft law known as the AI Act, which would put new restrictions on what is seen as the AI's riskiest uses. Basically, they don't want AI to work independently. Very backward. I have always considered Europe a continent frozen in time. They can't think beyond huge chandeliers, horse carts, bejeweled crowns, ornate thrones, kings and queens, wars, guillotines, smelly chamber pots, reeking jute cloths, frantic sex, STDs, and an aversion to everything modern. Let's talk about North America now. What is Biden's favorite pastime? Getting Trump arrested. Donald Trump was arrested at the federal courthouse in Florida on Tuesday and pleaded not guilty to federal criminal charges that he unlawfully kept national security documents when he left office and lied to officials who sought to recover them. Biden, the oldest organism in the Milky Way, is vindictive as fuck. His son has snorted every powder on the planet. He keeps 10% for every deal he makes. And who gets arrested? Donald effing Trump. Biden is celebrating Pride Month in White House. Several woke Americans came to the party half naked to celebrate their favorite month. Republican lawmakers are up in arms after Joe held a Pride celebration on the south lawn of White House on Saturday and flew the Progress Pride flag from the Truman balcony. Remember the 7 ages of civilization. The age of pioneers, the age of conquest, the age of commerce, the age of affluence, the age of intellect, the age of decadence, and finally, the age of decline and collapse. Looks like Joe Biden is leading the 6th age, the age of decadence. Canadian wildfires that have wreaked havoc across the US and Canada is not because of the arsonist who ignited it. No, sir. It's due to climate change. Yes, climate change. So scientist Trudeau is saying that climate change caused spontaneous combustion in jungles. Spontaneous combustion, the inherently perplexing yet profoundly fascinating phenomenon wherein certain combinations of matter, upon reaching a critical threshold of accumulated internal energy, precipitously and autonomously erupt into the violent exothermic manifestation that we ubiquitously recognize as fire. This ostentatious and dramatic expression of chemical reactivity arises as an intrinsic consequence of the heterogeneous interactions amongst the intricate, interlocking lattice work of subatomic particles that fundamentally constitute the composition of matter. Such intricate network of interactions, habitually balanced and stable, may find itself tipped into the realm of thermodynamic disequilibrium under particular conditions, perturbing the precarious harmony and precipitating the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy expressed via the energetic exudation of heat and light, the characteristics of combustion. As a student of science, I don't agree with Professor Trudeau. BC has become first Canadian province where biology is dying a painful death. Very soon, men will be allowed to wear tampons. Yes, tampons are being distributed in public men toilets for use. Men do not have a vaginal canal into which a tampon could be inserted, nor do they menstruate, making the need for such a product redundant in the context of biological functionality. Men do not release an egg from the ovaries every month. Men don't have fucking ovaries. Bodies of men do not prepare the uterus for pregnancy. Men do not have fucking uterus. If Trudeau or Jagmeet or both have giant vaginal canals, ovaries, uteri, and drop an egg every month, those are unique cases, not the fucking norm. Canada riled me up. I was going so smoothly. Anyway, let's move to other parts of the world. After US President Joe Biden vowed to impose consequences on Saudi Arabia for slashing oil production last year, Mohammed bin Salman or MBS, Saudi Crown Prince, threatened to alter the relationship between the two nations. What now, Biden? You can't even blame Saudis for producing weapons of mass destruction because it's the US that gives it all its weapons. Joe should smell the coffee and read the writing on the wall. It's not the same world where a warning from the US president curdled the bloods of state heads. I mean, how many times has Biden administration warned Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi? And what has PM Modi done? Ignore. And now that he's coming to the US, Biden wants to lay out the reddest red carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show we've had, traversing continents, crossing cultures, and dabbling in the hilariously absurd. We've navigated the treacherous world of German diplomacy, where the knife you feel in your back might just be a new form of handshake, because nothing says partnership quite like a surprise appendectomy. We went to the UK, where the national pastime seems to be shooting oneself in the foot, then promptly tipping over it. We've also zipped across to technically challenged Europe, where they are still figuring out how to get their smartphones to take selfies that don't look like impressionist paintings. And of course, we have swung by the pride parties at the White House and tampon-wearing men, because in North America, freedom of expression is never on its period. And with that, folks, we close the curtain on this roller coaster ride of global goofiness. Remember, no matter where you're from or how you celebrate, we are all just trying to find our way in this wonderfully weird world. Here's to laughter, love, and the ability to laugh at the lovable absurdity that is life. Cheers.